Okay, so for this workshop, we're going to be talking about another form of technique of creating with clay. We're going to do coil. Now, one of the things I want to tell you about this clay before we start is that air-dried clay, we do not have a kiln here, just not yet, so we're using air-dried clay. Air-dried clay needs to be able to have time to dry. Okay, we can't, quickly take this, put this on the drying rack and hope that it dries overnight. It may take some time to actually dry. So when you're creating this, you want to have the time for it to dry. So, work with it fast so it's able to dry so you're able to do stuff with it later. Also, as you're working with this, it is starting to dry already. Okay, it is, it's out, it's, it's starting to, take the water out of your hands. It's looking to find a way to be moist, but because it's starting to get dry, it's hardening. Okay, so you need to work fast with your clay. It can't be like a 3-day stretch because it will start drying. All right, coils. Coils are pretty neat. I'm going to take a little bit of water. Now, as I've said before, if it gets a little dry, you put a little bit on your fingers. Do not soak your entire hand. That is not what you want to do. You want to just, put a little bit and then kind of just get it wet, okay? And you can mush it around. All right, so coils, process of coil. What you're going to do is you're going to probably need to stand up on this, and I'm going to move some stuff so we can actually go. And you want to roll it back and forth. Now, we're going to probably try to make it about the width of your pinky or possibly a pencil. So you're going to go back and forth. And as you can probably see, I kind of go back and forth here. Just a little bit more. Try to get a little wet. Now, coil is really neat because you can kind of keep an evenness to it, to whatever you're creating, okay? Because you want your whatever you create to be hollow, whether we're using air dry clay or clay that you use in a kiln. Reason that you do that is because it's thick clay, if it's a clump, okay, more than likely it has the opportunity to explode if it's in a kiln, and you don't want to do that. Also, it makes it a lot easier to dry out. So you go back and forth. As you can see, my hands are kind of, I go in and out of moving my fingers, okay, because I want to use the whole length of it. You don't want to have coils longer than your board, okay, so nice kind of short coils are great, and you just make a whole bunch of them. All right, that's looking nice. Do a little bit more here. Now, what you want to do is you want to create maybe like two long coils, okay? As I said, about with your pinky, ooh, that's pretty good, okay, with a pencil, all right? And we're going to create like a little pot, all right? We're going to start off with a couple of tools. What we're trying to do is we're going to be doing what's scoring and slipping, okay? Not slipping like you're going to, take a slip. We want to merge this together. If you just take this and coil this around, it's going to break. Okay, when it dries, it's going to break. And you don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is we want to kind of like hold it together. We want to kind of like merge it in a way. So how we're going to do that is we're just going to take a little bit of water, just wet it, all right? Hit the top of it. Take this as a pin tool, and you're just going to make it rough. Kind of make it really rough. Okay. Coil this around. Make that rough there, make that rough there, coil around, all right? Do a little bit more. Now I'm going to make mine long, but however you want to create your shape, you're going to do that. Just pushing it together, okay? Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it so it sticks to itself instead of just separating, all right? There we go. That's very beautiful. Now all I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of water on the side and I'm making it rough. Okay. Now if you want to end this, what we can do is we can just cut that off. Okay. I'm going to make it rough all the way on the side. And I'm just going to merge it off. Now, to make this really strong and have a structure, you can do one of two ways. You can just smooth one side, so it's nice and smooth, all right? That will definitely give you a nice strong hold to it, okay? You can also do the other side. If you like the way that this coil is looking, you can keep it exposed, or you can just, merge it together. It's up to you. Now, evenness is definitely one thing that's going to be looked at when you're doing your project, okay? Whether you're doing coil, slab, or pinch, we'll definitely be looking at to make sure that your walls, of whatever you create, are even thickness, okay? Now that's a nice good thickness. It'll take probably like maybe a day, maybe a day and a half to dry all the way through. Anything thicker will take a lot longer, okay? To add on top. All right, so let's say I want to add this on top. Same way, you make wet on one side. I'm going to grab the other side, make that wet. Score it. Score the side. I'm just going to add it, okay? And you go up. You kind of go back and forth. Now, one thing that people tend to do is they'll keep going and they'll forget that they have to merge one side to make it strong. So my suggestion is as you go through, you kind of do it at the same time. Okay? And the inside is a lot easier when you're right at the base. Pull that up. This is like a metal plate, which is really neat. It's great for scraping things up or cutting things, okay? You can do one coil at a time, all the way up, absolutely fine. So this is what it kind of looks like on the side, okay? I'm gonna merge this because I want it to be, smooth on the outside. You can smooth with your fingers, which is absolutely fine. Inside, I kind of like the idea of it being smooth because I know it would be a lot stronger if it's smooth on both sides. All right, and you can kind of see how thick it is, which is good. The modeling tools come in all different kinds of styles, so you can easily fill in any cracks. You don't want any cracks. All right, so kind of do maybe like a small little pot, maybe like 2 rings high and, not that very thick. But when you're done, make sure that you clean up all the tools. Try to get as much clay off the tools. And I know they have a lot of clay, but, try to get them off. And make sure that you clean up after yourself. And all the tools that you use need to go back into their correct spots.